Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Sri Banerjee, Dr. B. And in this brief tutorial, I will be not only describing about surveillance systems, but also talking about the role of health informatics and give you a little bit of a perspective and context in on how to handle some of these newer definitions and concepts that you're encountering within the course. So let's get started here. In today's brief clip, I will be going over some of the basics of epidemiology and public health a bit. I'll also give you an overview of how surveillance fits in to all of these broad concepts and ideas. But before I can start talking about epidemiology, even we have to mention the father of modern epidemiology, who is John Snow. And to be honest with you, the first person that had systematically studied this and tried to come up with a solution is John Snow when he was studying cholera within the city of London. And in this map, what you see is all of these dots representing cases within the small quadrant of London and all of the wells. And so trying to understand where the source of cholera is required extensive maps to be drawn and surveillance to be conducted. So you can make the statement that modern surveillance started in about 170 years ago. But if you look deeper into the history of surveillance, you'll actually see a lot of the ancient civilizations. If you look at the four cradles of civilization, there was a lot of surveillance going on in those areas as well, because as part of city planning, it was very important to be able to monitor the types of diseases. Now, the paradigm that people were using in the past compared to what we do now are completely different because of the fact that we have a biological model of disease. Whereas before, a lot of disease was attributed to even breathing in bad air, which is why you see a lot of the masks being worn during the plague. But let's take a look here at how surveillance can be used to address public health concerns. So while epidemiology on one hand is a study of distribution and determinants of health-related states, surveillance, and I want you to really pay attention to this definition. So I'm going to read this out loud, and then I'm going to emphasize the areas that need to be emphasized. So if you look at the second bullet point, and read along with me out loud if you want to, public health surveillance is the systematic, ongoing collection, management, analysis, and interpretation of data, followed by the dissemination of these data to public health programs to stimulate public health action. Now, this was taken from the International Epidemiology Association, but the reason I wanted to put this on this slide is because I wanted you to see that while data collection, data analysis is one point in time, surveillance, in fact, is kind of an ongoing long-term process. Now, I have been heavily involved in surveillance efforts through National Health and Nutritional Examination Survey, NHANES, and you might have heard about this ongoing sort of effort. I've published multiple papers from this surveillance system and really know this very extensively. So my background comes from being able to share with you some of the insights that I have learned over the years in studying this one surveillance system. This one surveillance system can be considered a gateway to study other types of disease conditions that may allow for better diagnosis and also understanding of how social determinants of health affect the management of certain diseases. So, and as you see, management is an extremely important part of it. As I keep giving you further instruction throughout the weeks, I'll share with you some of the specific research that I conducted from surveillance systems, so then you can see firsthand from an expert researcher how you can utilize surveillance systems in order to um, illustrate certain research ideas. So at this point, I'm going to actually stop here. This is a good stopping point for you to address some of the weekly discussions and everything. Keep working on the surveillance system that you have selected. Each week, we will be adding on more and more sort of components to this elaborate surveillance system so that by the time you're done, you'll have a good understanding, good thorough understanding of what are all of the moving parts that are required to have and create an extensive surveillance system. So I look forward to your discussion post. I look forward to our interactions. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you.